Part 5, let's go. Alright, my goal for today is to get our sink cabinet done and get our shoe pull-out done, have them clear coated, ready to install tomorrow. And I woke up to a bunch of rain outside, so that makes things a little more difficult. First thing we're gonna start on is our sink cabinet.
They say this is a big town, but I live in the lowest part. I know I'm on a
All these parts have been clear coated, now it's time to put on our slides. For my final slide installation, I'm using number 10 because I got a stronger shear strength. Alright, this thing's heavy and I need to come up with a good way to attach it because I don't want to put any extra fasteners to make a little frame underneath to support it. The body itself isn't that heavy, but it's the two sets of 40-inch slides that make it really heavy. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take that board that I had lined up with the screw bin. I'm actually going to screw it down so it doesn't counterlever, so we have our 3/4 level in the back, and then I'm going to use one of my outfeed supports and bring it up and down and hopefully be able to kind of dial it in that way. Everything sounds good in theory, but normally my theories go pretty well. That I can't do. So I can't screw it in because once I have my drawer here, I'm not going to be able to get those screws out. So I'm going to make a nice big pull so I can pull it all out. Okay, I got that one side put on. Now the challenge comes with this gap. Because I don't have enough room to put my driver in, I'm using a 90-degree with a super short bit to get the least amount of space but still have good driving power. Okay, so I had somebody ask on my Instagram comments how I'm gonna support this hinge, and let me show you. Where the hinge joint lands is dead center between these two parts. So I put in a cross support. Also, my boards rest on top of my slides. So it has support there, and in the middle. So the maximum span it has without support is 40 inches, which is nothing because support here, support there, tied in here, tied in here, tied in here. And then we'll do a lay down test and make sure everything works out good. Here's our sink that we're using. It's a stainless steel sink. I got an offset in it because I want our fill up water tank to be on this side and our empty gray water tank to be on this side. A retractable faucet here, and it's important for these clients because they really want to be able to wash their hair. Since it's a little van and you can't have a full shower in here, being able to wash your hair is a pretty big thing. I have this seat set by my clients to exactly where they want, so it gives us a good amount of room to have a nice little lip on each side. We're going to do a magnetic removable panel on this side, 15 by 21. That's the issue with having a small shop. I had my plywood was catching on the end of this because I didn't have these set perfect to the right height. So I tried to manage it to keep the cut going. And of course it got caught. Ripped the veneer off the other side of plywood. So this piece is fine, but it's not easy on the wallet. My 3 main pieces cut out. I just did a rough cut with that homemade circular saw track saw, and then I got them fully dialed on the table saw. Now I'm gonna air up the compressor and get them nailed together. My mind, because I don't want to see Brad nails. We're doing Craig screws. This is the foot pump that we're using. It's actually a boat bilge foot pump, and this can be easily mounted. You got your intake lines, which are swiveled, and your outfeed lines, which are also swiveled. And then I'm gonna pair this with 3/4 inch hose. One side's gonna be going into the tubs, and then I just need to make the transition from this hose to our faucet. So we got a stainless steel faucet, and it's retractable, so it's easy to wash hair. But before we do all that, I just sanded up our face plate. It sits down 1/4 inch on the face, which is gonna be not visible once standing in the van. And we're gonna attach this with 6 magnets. For an application like this where we're using magnets, I use heavy duty earth magnets. These are about 3/16 of an inch. And you gotta make sure that when you're placing them on and you have your other face holding against them, that your magnets attract, because if you have them flipped over, they're not going to want to attract. See? I'm going to clear coat up this cabinet and this base face before I put in my magnets, because once I have these holes drilled, first of all, I want direct magnet to magnet connection. I don't want any clear coat sitting over top of that, hindering the strength of them. And if I pre-drilled my holes, put the magnets in, made sure it was all good, popped them out, I don't want those holes to have any extra clear coat in them that'll make it too tight for my magnets, because I want these magnets to fit really snug when I glue them in. But not too snug, I still want to be able to get them in. Here's where we're gonna have our pull-out shoe storage. I don't want it to be too tight because I want these people to still be able to kind of walk through this little section if they have to, or at least swing their leg over, so when they're going to use the sink, they're able to access that foot pedal. The interior size needs to be at least 12 inches deep, and then I'm gonna come out 2 feet. build, we're using average 100-pound slides. They're also soft close. That's satisfying. We're gonna mount these before we get this other side on because it's gonna be a pain to try and line it all up. I'm just using a big 12-inch square in the back because this needs to be absolutely deadly. Tight. Tight. I'm going to shift my square over. Where's my... I'm going to push it with the square to exactly where I want to meet. Double check this one. Of course, they're both bang on because I did it. I got my 1/4-inch pencil sitting down. Now when I slide this in, I should have my equal 1/8 gap all the way around. Which it is. Awesome. Everything's ready for some clear coat. I'm gonna wipe these down so they're not tacky. I don't have any dust on them. And then we're gonna go out with our first coat. All right, I finished both coats on our sink cabinet and our pull-out shoe storage cabinet. I did a 150 sand in between, just hit it with another coat. I'm gonna stock up the wood stove so we got heat all night, let it all cure properly, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. That's it for part 5 today. In part 6, we're gonna be installing both of these cabinets, putting in vinyl flooring, plumbing in the sink, and doing any final touch-ups that need to be done. I see all you people watching these videos, but you don't subscribe. I see you. You're watching. You haven't subscribed. Only got like 40 subscribers. What are you doing? Not subscribing. That's what you're doing. Get down there. Hey, right there. Right now.